You've got 14 days to fix that lawn or we move forward legally.
Fix it. That lawn's been there longer than your entire HOA.
Before I tell you what happened, comment where you're watching from. They fined my grandpa $8,500 over the way he cut his own grass. I'm Michael Hayes, 58, electrical engineer, living out in the Phoenix suburbs. And for months, every time I visited my grandpa, I noticed the same thing. His lawn was perfect, clean edges, straight lines. The kind of lawn you only get when someone's been caring for it for a lifetime. He didn't hire anyone, didn't use fancy tools, just the same old mower. And the same routine he's followed since the 1950s. But then the letters started showing up. First violation, unauthorized lawn structure. They were talking about a small shed sitting next to the grass he'd been cutting for over 70 years. Second violation, improper fence line finish, because the way he trimmed along the fence didn't match HOA patterns. Third violation, non-compliant mailbox height. 3 violations in 6 weeks. Total fines, 5 cents. 14 days to comply, or they'd put a lien on the house. The same house he built in 1952 with his own hands. I found him sitting on the porch that evening, just staring at the lawn. I used to keep it perfect, he said quietly. I still try. That hit me harder than anything, because it was perfect. They just didn't understand what they were looking at. So the next morning, I took a cashier's check down to the HOA office. I just wanted it to stop. Richard Dawson, HOA president, didn't even look up. This is a premium community, he said flatly. Your grandfather's lawn doesn't meet our standards. Something about the way he said it, like all those years, didn't matter. I looked at him, then tore the check in half right there in his office. You don't get to rewrite history, I said. You just moved in. That night, I went down to my grandpa's basement. Dusty boxes, old records, things nobody had touched in decades. I wasn't even sure what I was looking for, until I found it. A metal box, wrapped in oilcloth. Inside was a document dated March 14th, 1947. Original Land Pat County seal. Notary stamp, my grandpa's signature. At 2 a.m., I pulled up the county system and traced the land. And that's when everything changed. 89 lots, every single one of them, carved out of my grandpa's original 40 acres. That entire neighborhood, built on land he owned, decades before the HOA even existed. By sunrise, I had answers. Attorney, county recorder, title company, all said the same thing. Superior title, meaning every rule, every fine, every lawn standard, came after him, not before. So I sent a certified letter, mandatory meeting, full board present. When I walked in, Dawson was already talking. You understand, you're escalating this. I set the documents down. No, I said calmly. You did. He flipped through the pages, slower and slower. That confidence? Gone. One of the board members leaned in. Wait, this says, Officer Martinez standing beside me, pulled up the county database on his tablet. Everything here checks out, he said. Original owner, pre-existing rights. Dawson tried to push back. Our bylaws still. I slid one last document across the table. That's my counterclaim, I said. Harassment, false lien threat, enforcing rules you don't legally have authority over. The room went quiet. I gave them 48 hours. They folded in 36. 2 months later, the numbers came out. $67 in legal consultation, $340,000 to fix similar cases they'd pushed onto other longtime owners. Dawson was voted out. 5 board members resigned. And my grandpa? He still cuts his grass. The same way he always has. Slow, careful, straight lines. I stopped by last weekend. He was halfway through the yard. Sunlight hitting those clean stripes. He looked up at me and smiled. Still looks all right, doesn't it? I nodded. It always did. Because to him, it was never just grass. It was time, memory, pride. And no HOA rulebook was ever going to measure that. So tell me this, who really controls a perfect lawn? The people who showed up decades later, or the man who's been taking care of it his entire life? Drop your story below.